Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Your Little Castle Show. We've always got gizmos and gadgets running here, but we want to make sure and produce an exciting show that you guys will enjoy. But we have invited an expert here from the space that many of us understand, and that is the commercial insurance world. Because all these businesses, guess what? They really need insurance. They got crazy customers sometimes, right? And all kinds of other things that can happen during the construction or the product development or the delivery and everything else. So we want to stay tuned for this one because we got an expert going to tell us all about it. Stay tuned, everybody.
Towards you.
Yep, you got it.
And we're starting.
There it is, everybody. We are live, the Your Little Castle Show, and having a little pregame prep discussion because we want to figure out how does this whole TV thing work. Well, multiple cameras here gets a little crazy, but we have a lot of fun here. And my good benefit is that I get to learn from every business owner and everybody that is an expert in their space. And we sent out a little Facebook post. I guess you saw us on Facebook.
I did, yeah.
And you said, hey, man, I'll talk to you about that. So with that, please welcome to the studio our guest, Mr. Chris Finnerty. He's the owner and founder of Grateful Insurance Advisors.
That's correct, yeah.
GratefulINS.com. I like the INS for the abbreviation. It makes it a little shorter so we can all understand the abbreviations that people have there. But thank you for joining us here in the studio.
Hey, thank you for having me. Big fan of yours. I think I told you earlier. I have pictures of my newborns with you, me and my wife when we were much younger, all the way up to last year. So thanks for having us.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we've been around doing this stuff for a long time in the community. A young guy like yourself, I've been doing this about 25 years now, 23, full-time in the full outfit. And so you were probably 15, 20 maybe back then?
No, about 21 when we were looking back at the pictures.
Okay.
That's when I met my wife. So.
Gotcha. Nice. There you go. Well, that worked out well. Tell me then a little bit about this as we get started. First, I want to give a shout out, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle, and just about everybody here is going to have some sort of a little castle. Now, that little castle might include a business owner who has some commercial insurance that might have been through our friends here at Grateful Insurance Advisors and Chris and his team. So with that, we'll put you on their website. You got your website up. You got your followers. You got a Facebook thing going on. You got it all together, man.
I try, man. I try. We're really excited about what we're bringing to the community.
Well, with that, tell me what led you here. Why did you decide to get into the commercial insurance side of the world?
Well, it is a funny story. I come from a banking background. My brother is a banker. He got me into the bank. And one day my assistant manager slid an upside down piece of paper across the desk. And I said, where are you going? I knew it was a resignation letter. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to sell insurance. And I said, are you kidding me? I said, we have this cush bank job. I've seen many people go sell insurance, and come back in 30 days. Right. And, he told me he was going into commercial insurance. Well, I didn't really know what that meant or whatnot, but I couldn't convince him to stay. He goes into commercial insurance, and then 3 years later, I'm more on the commercial banking side. I needed somebody that could dependably write business life insurance, and there is a difference, business life insurance. So I hit him up and I said, hey man, let's do lunch. Well, he goes and offers me a job for a commercial insurance agency. So, I was like, hey, I thought I told you I didn't have any interest in this. We got this cush bank job. I don't know, what this all looks like. Well, I had a 3-month-old baby. He told me what the opportunity looked like, and it, seemed like sky's the limit. So next thing you know, went from him working for me to me working for him. And that is how I got into commercial insurance. So.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, how often we don't realize what's out there until somebody kind of puts it in front of us and says, have you ever thought of this? And next thing you're going, well, I'm going to think about it now.
Oh, for sure.
Because it would be very lucrative. Tell me more about that. What that got your interest, and you decided to stick with it, obviously.
Sure. Yeah. So, at the firm he worked for, I worked for 2 years, and then I moved to a larger brokerage for about 5.5 years, and then September of 2024 decided to go out on my own. I'm just a guy. I'm passionate about commercial insurance, passionate about helping people. And we've really been able to save people a lot of money, improve their coverage, help with their risk management, safety programs, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Tell me a little bit more about what people don't understand about the commercial side of the world, because it is, when you walk into a restaurant, you walk into any kind of a building, they've got to have all kinds of things in place to make sure that if you slip and fall or what can go on there, what kind of things most people don't realize about insurance like that.
Sure. So, nobody wants the insurance company playing Big Brother, but, we are here to advise people on the best ways to prevent future claims and decrease their premium. So some of the things that we help people out with, we'll help them with their employee handbook, which once again needs to be approved by your attorney. Weekly toolbox talks, monthly safety meetings. We inspect the building. We make sure all the fire extinguishers are, up to date. Make sure you have the slip and fall signs and whatnot. We're really there to assist, not play Big Brother.
Yeah, so there's just a lot more that goes into it. A lot of people don't the liabilities that are in place. And so by having a small business, especially if you have a facility that humans will go visit, then you've got to make sure all these pieces are in place, or else business can go down and get shut down pretty quickly if they get one big lawsuit.
Absolutely. By not having the right commercial insurance agent, there could be some catastrophic exclusions in that policy that if one of those hits and you're not covered, you're out of business. So the thing that you've worked for, the thing that maybe you love the most, could go bye-bye, all because maybe you went with the cheap guy, maybe you had the same insurance and you've never shopped it or had somebody give you a second opinion on it. There's a lot that can happen out there.
Well, that's something we want to bring a little light to, because so often people, they just teach things that the average human doesn't. But when you're going to start business, you better talk to an expert, somebody that knows what you're taking at risk here, because you don't want to be out on your own on a limb, and all of a sudden you've got a $500,000 lawsuit coming at you. You're like, where did that come from? But you've been in you've been in insurance for how long, and then when did you switch over here?
Yeah, so I've actually been in insurance. I've been insurance licensed since 2010. I've been specifically focusing on commercial insurance since 2017, so about 9 years now.
Okay. Yeah, and then with that kind of experience, you've seen all kinds of crazy reasons why somebody should have an expert. This isn't something you tack on because you got somebody else who can sell commercial. You want to have a commercial experience insurance expert.
Absolutely. Anybody can match price, beat price, but our philosophy is we're going to take a copy of your policy, and that's not because we want the answers to the test or know what you're paying. We want to know everything that's in that policy, all 500 pages. I wish I could tell you I read every policy front to back, but we use keyword searches. We're looking for 10 most common exclusions that aren't in a contractor's policy or a restaurant's policy, and we're gonna fill some of those gaps.
Yeah, back to, gosh, how many those policies? So you've learned, but technology, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I got a question about technology, but literally you got to look for the right keywords to see if they have the right coverages, to see if they have the right lines in there, because if they're missing anything, they open themselves up some big risk.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, you need to make sure that the exposures are properly covered, because these commercial insurance policies are audited. So if you undershoot your sales, undershoot your payrolls, I've seen plenty of businesses go out of business because they couldn't pay the audit, the next year. So they said they had 100,000 in payroll, they had 500,000, now they owe 40 grand. Or somebody put them in the incorrect code. So
okay, what's the incorrect code?
I'm sorry. So an incorrect code.
Yeah, what does that mean?
For instance, the big thing that I see is interior carpentry compared to carpentry residential building 2 stories or above. So that's your home builders. Interior carpentry is like somebody that does trim, frame, kitchens, baths. So, if you were doing rough framing, they're going to move you out of that interior carpentry code to the residential carpentry home builder code, basically.
Oh, wow.
And your rate's going to double, maybe triple.
Okay. These are things that you should have planned out, so you need to talk to an expert before you take on these kinds of things. Tell me a little bit, is this something you run your office yourself? Do you have a team? I guess you've got a whole support team behind you, but give me a little bit about how the organization is run.
Sure. So, it started out as just me, roughly 18 months ago. But you can't do it alone. So I'm backed by VIAA, so Valley Insurance Alliance, and it's basically an aggregate of 187 branches or 187 insurance agencies. So what that does is it gives me access to any insurance company that any of them have, gives me back office support. They train my people. They help set all this up. Truth is, I'm a salesperson that got forced into starting his own business. So there's so many back office steps that you have to take. So yeah, that's kind of how it started as far as people. I currently have 3 full-time producers, a account manager who does some of the back office stuff, and then I have 6 part-time producers, 3 in St. Louis, 6 over in Illinois.
Okay, so yeah, you got a heck of a team there, and
Right.
you can handle plenty of business there, obviously.
We sure can.
How many clients can any one agent handle? I guess it depends on your systems are in place, but you're doing pretty well to have that many people working with you.
Right. Client for the commercial clients that we kind of go after, the construction, the manufacturing, restaurants, retail. I would say any producer could probably handle 50 to 70 commercial clients on their own before they have to start hiring an assistant, back office support. So you can only get so big, till you have to start chopping up the pie a little bit or getting help or have your wife help or whatever it may be. So.
Okay. Yeah, some kind of support because there's a lot at stake here. We want to make sure that all those things get put in place properly.
Sure.
But commercial, a lot of people don't even think about that, but that is anything that has to do with commerce. It's not for home, right? You're talking about those business owners. Anywhere from, when does somebody start considering getting business insurance?
Sure, it depends. I would say the gray area is when you're talking a rental property. I still consider it commercial insurance because they have it under an LLC. So
Right.
if it's under an LLC, I'm going to be the expert in that field. That's what I do all day long. Some of the larger home and auto companies will still write your rental properties, duplexes, but once they start getting into like apartment buildings, that's kind of when they start coming my way.
Okay. Because commercial just has a different means to how they manage it and parameters and limitations and goes on from there.
Sure, and yeah, once again, that's the gray area. But when I'm talking about commercial insurance, and a lot of people don't understand, I've been in 1,000 networking meetings and say commercial insurance, and I think that they know what I'm talking about. But what I started saying is commercial insurance and work comp. You have to insure the building, you have to insure your employees, work comp, your auto, commercial auto. That's your contractor vans or pizza delivery vans, and then general liability. If somebody were to slip and fall and get hurt on your premises.
Very good, yeah. So that kind of helps you differentiate and understand where that is it goes. What about your business fuels your passion? Obviously, you've become very passionate about this. This is the way you run your business, and you've had very much success. What is it that makes you so excited about what you do?
Sure. So, I really love helping people. We took all the policies that we wrote last year and averaged them out, and the policies that we wrote, right, because that's the data that I have, we have saved our customers an average of 29%, which is a huge, huge savings. And I've never written one policy in my life where we didn't improve at least 2 lines of coverage. So we're writing them 29% on average better, and we're providing a better policy for our clients.
Write that one down, everybody. If you're a baseball guy, you understand a little bit about the stats, but a 29% cost savings that's almost 1 out of 3. Not 1 out of 5, not 1 out of 4, but 1 out of 3. I'm showing off all the rings there. But it's better, that's an incredible savings. I mean, 1 out of 3, if you're 1 out of 10, then you're doing a big difference. But if you're 1 out of 3, holy cow, you're making it's very close to 1 out of 3. You're better than 1 out of 4. That's a huge savings, everybody. And providing better service and giving them better coverage.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So that's not our hit ratio. That's the amount that they're saving, 29%. As far as hit ratio, we're probably writing about 80% of the businesses that we touch.
Okay, and that's you talked 8 out of 10. That's your hit rate. Yeah, that's
sure.
Baseball, you're hitting 33. You're doing amazing. You're
1 out of 3 puts you in the Hall of Fame in baseball.
Right.
3 out of 10 will. You know. So.
Yeah, and so you're close to where you're having almost 8 out of 10. There's only 2 out of 10 that are not converting to your business because of what you can offer and the better quality and savings they can get with better coverage.
And, I'm not the only show in town. Over here in St. Louis, there are some large commercial insurance agencies, but they're kind of big game hunting. We want to start at Main Street. We want to write everything on Main Street, from the floral shop, maybe the local pub, the locally owned restaurant, the dry cleaner, whatever it may be. We want to write the local people up and down Main Street and State Street, and they're going to naturally refer us into some of the bigger fish that are out there. But the target market that I really segment is probably 50 employees and less. The big fish aren't chasing them, right? And they're very underserved. So that's where we can really make that impact. And that 29% means a lot to them.
That's huge. Yeah. I mean, if you're paying, what's the average monthly tab for somebody that does insurance with you?
I would say the average account we write is about $30,000. Our sweet spot is about $50,000 a year to $150,000 a year. So if you take that guy paying $150,000 a year, and we just did it last week. He was paying $154,000. We wrote him at $108,000.
Wow, yeah, you're essentially helping them pay for another employee. I mean,
exactly. Hopefully he tells his friends, All
right, that's what we like to see in some of the leaders in our community. With that, we're going to share with you some of the community excitement we've been able to partake here recently down at Busch Stadium, where I run with my buddy Chris. Hey everybody, guess what? We get to have fun all the time at the Cardinal games. Before the game, we get to hang out with fun super fans. Say hello to my buddy Nino over here, Brett, Tanya, and Dixie. That's right. Everybody's in the video here. Family coming out to the game. Nino, what do you love about going to Cardinal games?
You love baseball?
Yeah. He loves baseball. Hey, all right. Scoring points with the Cardinal Cowboy.
Yeah, he plays Miracle League baseball.
Do you really?
And he likes to be on the Cardinals team at home.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know how many times have you been on that team? How many times have you done that?
A lot.
That's a good answer. All right. Dad, what's it like coming to the Cardinal games with your son and your wife and all the fun you get to have down here?
Oh, it's the most fun. I mean, we've been coming since Old Busch. Now we've got New Busch Stadium. It's the best baseball town, and it's the most fun. It's fun before the game. The games are always great, and we love it.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking time here. We're at Patios, everybody. This is where the most fun is. I get to wear the full outfit here. I got the pants, the socks, the arch, Nino, Brett, Tanya, and Dixie all here, and we're outside Patios having fun. Hey, say hi to Patios. Stop on by here before a Cardinal game, and we'll see you guys soon. Nino, give me some knuckles. There we go. Go Cardinals. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So there you have it, everybody. A lot of the fun we partake in our little community here that we enjoy. With that, I'm a numbers guy. I like to figure out how do the numbers add up. But give me a kind of an analysis here. So I guess there's some people who might take the chance of having a business without such insurance. That's rare. But then
Sure.
I would imagine the state might come after you, depending on what you got going on there. But when it comes down to, though, there's people that they can cut corners and they can go through the discount broker. But why would somebody not want to do that? What are the real reasons? Give me that cost enough. Why people should do this the right way through a company like yourself, but still save quite a bit of money.
Sure. As I mentioned, I'm mainly into commercial insurance, but my biggest fear is somebody has a 16-year-old that they want to add to the policy,
Okay.
and they're mad that it goes up $200, $300.
Right.
So then I flip it back on them. I said, would you self-insure your 16-year-old in this $20,000 car for $300 a month? And they'd say, heck no,
Right.
So yeah, if you cut corners and whatnot, I mean, it could be absolutely catastrophic to your business to where you are out of business. Some of the things that we offer are pollution liability to contractors. I feel everybody that uses a computer should have a cyber liability policy. And, 70% of the claims that we see are for small businesses because they know that you don't have the safeguards in place. But, ultimately, why come to us? We're going to come to your office. We're going to analyze your policy. We're going to present in person. We're going to, compare what you got to what we got. We're looking to improve your situation, but we're also looking to save you money as well. And we're a broker, so we may get you 5 package quotes, and we may get you 10 work comp quotes. We could literally spend the rest of the year quoting just your insurance, but we're going to pick the best half a dozen or so.
Yeah, so you are a broker per se because now you've got the options from a number of different companies, and that way you can have a competitive opportunity for anybody, and you're going to get a very good price, but also get knowledgeable expertise to make sure it's covered correctly.
Correct. And what I will say is not all 2 brokers are alike or the same. Through my relationship with VIAA, which I mentioned earlier, I was able to get some exclusive contracts that they would only give to somebody that was part of that organization, but also has a commercial insurance background like myself. So, when I hear, oh, I'm already with a broker, well, it really matters the contracts that they hold, because some can be, can dominate the market for 10-year span, depending on who you have and whatnot. So we pursue all contracts. We want everybody.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because you've got a lot of bigger audience, the more coverages you've got, the better you can take care of your customers.
Sure.
And a lot more that you can offer them to people. Tell me though specifically, why should somebody choose you? We've given people a lot of good reasons so far, but kind of summarize for me.
Well, we're locally owned. We're experts in our field. We're always doing training, getting more knowledgeable. We're going to help you with your risk management. We're going to help you with your safety program. We're going to improve your coverage, and hopefully we improve your pricing. But we want to make sure we take care of those other steps before we get there, and then hopefully the rest does it for itself. So
there you go. Well said. Tell me, you've got to be certified a number of different ways for this. Give me some of the certifications you've got, why those are important.
Sure. So me personally, I am property and casualty licensed. I'm life licensed, and I'm health licensed. But also what makes me unique is I am what they call a CIC. It's a Certified Insurance Counselor. The certification took me about 2 years to do.
Wow.
Many hours of training and classes that I had to take. I have to recertify every year, take another 16 hours. I don't know what the specifics are, but the last time I heard, something like less than 2% of all agents are certified insurance counselors.
There you go. You're getting a counselor here, everybody. He's had to go a few levels above to get some expert training that makes a big difference on your little planet. And those are some things to consider, because now you're dealing with somebody who can help you holistically, or a counselor, not just an advisor, not just somebody who says, hey, by the way, or a sales rep, even worse, right? Here's something you should buy. Sign right here. Why do I need that? I don't know. Get an expert that can do this. Tell me, though, what's the benefit of working with a smaller agency like you, a small business that can be more adept and answer the questions versus, we love our big guys, but there's so much overhead and extra costs and less attention you get there.
Correct. Yeah. The smaller accounts at a larger agency become what is called house accounts. So you don't even have an agent assigned to you. You have, somebody in the office that makes sure that, your account renews, and maybe you get an auto ID card. You want an agent, somebody that comes out, somebody that will review that coverage to you in person every single year. 5 years ago, we didn't have cyber liability insurance. That's how quickly this all changes. So, with all the new exposures out there, and they seem to change daily, you need somebody out there recommending coverages, bringing you options like a broker will, and just giving you that advice, guidance, and education that you deserve.
There you had it, everybody. I'm going to ask Chris to stick around for another half an hour. Stay tuned. You're watching the